Truth, it is the slayer of lies. Truth do not need to be propped up. It stands on its own. It is freestanding. A lie needs to be propped up. A lie needs to be persecuted and perpetuated. Truth do not need any such thing. In this time that we are celebrating right now, the birth of the Christ, the reason for the season, that is Jesus. This is his time. It is incumbent upon us as Christians to know the truth. The Bible says, know the truth, for it will set you free. We know the truth about many things in the Bible. However, there are things in the Bible that has truth, but we fail to bring it forth. We want to keep that truth suppressed. We are afraid to bring forth the truth. However, the truth cannot be suppressed. It cannot be. Eventually, it will come forth. And it will convict all those who have attempted to suppress it. The truth that I'm talking about today is the truth of the color of God. Let's address that truth. You won't find pastors, preachers, bishops. We're in the last days. Revelation is very relevant. It's a book that should be preached throughout in the last days. We should be talking about Revelation. But we're not. Not only are we not talking about Revelation, we're not preaching that, we're not even preaching the real truth in the book of Revelation. And that is the color of God. On the island of Patmos, John saw God. And he described him. However, no church, no pastor, no one want to talk about that description of God that John described. Revelations 1:12. And it says, it goes like this. Then I turned to see the voice that spoke with me. And having turned, I saw 7 golden lampshades. And in the midst of the 7 lampstands, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the feet, and girded about the paps with a golden band. The paps is the chest. Girded about the chest with a golden band. Now, it says, his head and his hair was white like wool, as white as snow. His eyes like a flame of fire. His feet were like fine brass, as if refined in a furnace. That is the description that John saw of God. Now I want to go away from that one for a moment, because I have to come back to that to show you how that has been modified a little with the rewriting of the Bible. Because the description right here is not the description of the day when I was a child. I read the Bible a lot, especially Revelations. So I definitely remember how it was described there. But let me go to chapter 2. Now that's John's description of God. Let me give you God's description of himself. And he is advising John, he's telling John what to say to the 7 churches. And this description is for this message is for the corrupt church. He advised John to say this to the corrupt church. And to the angels of the church of Thyatira, write. These things says the Son of God, who has eyes like a flame of fire and his feet like fine brass. Okay, that's God's description of himself, like fine brass. Okay? Now, it's one thing for someone to describe someone a certain way, but it's another thing for that individual who was described by someone else to describe himself the same way. So if I describe myself the same way someone has described me, then that's who I am. That's who God is. Feet like fine brass. We find in the furnace. That's not white. That's a man of color. Now let's go back to the first description. Back on Revelation 1:12. Now let's go down to where it says Revelation 1:14. Chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow. Now, as a child, when I read that verse, it said his hair was like wool. When his hair was white like wool, his hair was like wool. But because of the rewrite of the Bible, to continue to suppress the truth, they have gone ahead and added his head was white and his hands. Why describe the head as white and the hand as white? If you talk about someone's head, you're talking about the hair. If you're talking about someone's hair, you're talking about the head. So why say the head and the hair? That's white, like wool. When you say, let me tell you about English and sentence structure. When you say his hair is white, well, let's say it this way. When you say his hair is like wool, what you're doing is comparing his hair to wool. Like is an adjective. What an adjective does is compare. Is adverb, excuse me. Like is an adverb. And what it does is compare. So when you say his hair is white, like wool, then what you're doing is you're adding an adjective in with the adverb. So you're changing the whole focus of that sentence. If you say his hair is like wool, then you're comparing the hair to wool. But if you say his hair is white like wool, you're comparing his hair to being white. You're describing the hair as being white. Why would you have to put in the adjective of white? We all know wool is white. Wool is white. So if he says hair is like wool, then we understand that it would be white. You don't need to have the adjective. You don't need the adjective white because it changes the whole complexion of the sentence. I'll give you another example. If I said his hat is like straw. His hat is like straw. Okay? His hat is like straw. His is a pronoun. Hat is a noun, which is a subject. Is a verb. Like is an adverb. And straw is a predicate. Back in school, the noun is the subject, which is a hat. The straw is a predicate. Now, I don't know if they're still using that today, but that's how it was when I was in school. So if I say his hat is like straw, I'm comparing the hat to straw. Hat, straw, straw, hat. So that means if I say his hat is like straw, automatically it comes to you, it's a straw hat. His hat is like straw, it's a straw hat. Hat, straw, straw, hat. The hat is a noun, straw is the predicate. Hat is the subject. Straw is the predicate. So, hat, straw, straw, hat. It's obvious. But if I go in and take an adjective and add it in next to the adverb like, then I change that sentence. Focus. Then I'm going to say his hat is yellow like straw. I don't need to have that adjective there, yellow. We all know straw is yellow. It's obvious. But if I put that there, then I change the complexion of the sentence. So now, as opposed to focusing on hat and straw hat, I have changed that. I'm focusing on the color. Now I'm focusing on the color of the hat. The hat is yellow like straw. You see that? The hat is yellow like straw. You don't get that connection. You don't get it's a straw hat. You get it, it's a yellow hat. That's what you get. And that's a simple way of changing the meaning and complexion of a sentence. Give you another example. If I say, her skirt is like grass. Okay? Her skirt is like grass. Her is a pronoun. Skirt is a noun, which is a subject. Is a verb. Like is an adverb. And grass is a predicate. So, if I say her skirt is like grass, skirt is a noun, grass is a predicate of the sentence. So, skirt, grass, grass, skirt. If I say a skirt is like grass, automatically grass is a grass skirt. But if I come in and say and add a irrelevant adjective next to the adverb and say her skirt is green like grass, then what you're going to get is the skirt being green from that sentence. You're not going to get that it's the grass skirt. You're going to get that it's the green skirt. And that is how this sentence was changed in the Bible. To completely change what the original meaning was, which was his hair is like wool. His is a pronoun, hair is a noun, the subject, is a verb, like is an adverb, wool is a predicate. Hair, the noun, wool, a predicate. Hair, wool, wool, hair. Okay? Who has wool hair? Doesn't take much. You don't have to take a stretch for you to understand what that means. So, what they do is they have gone in and added a completely irrelevant adjective next to the adverb white. Not only that, they even added head in there. So it changes the complexion of the sentence. Now you get his hair's white like wool. So now you're getting the hair being white as opposed to the hair being like wool. That's how that was changed to take away from the original meaning of the sentence. Now, God is not a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair. He's not that. That's a lie that has been perpetrated over all these years. And no one wants to bring that truth to the light. You know why? Because that it's like a string hanging from a garment. If you pull that string, the garment is going to be crumpled. You'll destroy the whole garment, basically. So, as opposed to pulling the string, they want to just cut the string. That way, it'll save the garment. And that's why no one goes to this verse in the Bible. They don't want to talk about that because they know that talking about that will lead to other stuff. The truth, no matter where it leads, have to be brought forth. Now that we know God is not blind, hair, and blue-eyed, let me go a little further with that one. This blind, hair, blue-eyed man is nothing but European Renaissance art. That's all it is. The image of this person is the son of some ministry head back in the 15 or 1400s. It's not God. That's all it is. It's a painted image of a lie. That is not God. That is not the image of him. But yet and still, we'll keep buying that. Keep having that lie shoved down your throat. Keep believing it. But it is a lie. The truth must come forth. The truth must come forth. Now, let's talk about Israel. Now, if God is not a white man, if God is a black man, then it stands to reason that his people are also that color. These people in Israel today, they are not God's people. Don't buy that lie. They're not God's people. These are European, Slavic folk, Eastern European Slavic people that were brought, they're Jews, they were brought there in 1948 on boats and all types of other crap to the land that they carved out from the Palestinians. They put them there. White people in the middle of that area. White people are not indigenous to that area of the world. They wasn't back in God's day. And you see, today they still aren't. Except for the Israelites, the Israel folk, the Jews that are there now. And then let me tell you something about those Jews. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't care about Jesus. And yet and still we out here saying, oh yeah, we got to protect those folk. We got to do X, Y, and Z for them. We got to look out for them. And God is going to bless us. They're not God's people. They don't even care about Jesus. They'll tell you that. 99% of them don't. Yet and still nobody's talking about that. That's another lie that no one is bringing forth. You're in the dark. And you keep buying this lie. Let me tell you something else about these Jews in Israel. You know, they think there are Africans that have come there, seeking asylum. You know what they have done? They have taken these folk and put them in prisons out in the desert. Keep them out that 60, 90 days before you can have a trial, a hearing. And then they send them back. Oh, God.